Howdy everybody, my name is Grant here for Team Evo, and I took top 4 at a OTS tournament, or a OTS championship I should say, and I wanted to go over the deck list that I was playing because I've been really excited for Yummy. I've been trying to find an excuse to make a deck list, or make a deck profile for this deck for a minute. This seemed like a good opportunity. I got top 4, which means I got my Nationals invite off of this, so that was pretty cool. Do not ask how many people were at this OTS. I would prefer if you didn't. But it was good. There were some good players there. Nick ended up winning the OTS championship. His profile will probably be out later this week. Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh was there. He got top 4 as well, I think. So yeah, I just wanted to go over the deck and talk about what I was playing, the decisions I was making, and what I would change going forward. So we'll start with just the main deck. These Yummy ratios are going to be pretty uncontroversial. 3 of all the names. You just need to see names. They're all pretty good. This Cupsy plays better than the other 2, but they're all full combo. I considered a couple of other options. I considered... actually, hold on. Never mind. I thought I had it on me, but I don't. I considered Piri Ray's map as a way to like find Cupsy more often, because Cupsy is like the best one out of all of these 3 by a country mile, because it can play through 2 interactions on its own instead of just the 1. The reason I didn't play Piri Rays is because if they figure out that's what I'm playing, they just ash the Piri Rays, and suddenly it's the same. It's actually a worse situation than opening a Lollipo, because if you open Lollipo or Cookie and you normal summon it, you can do the exact... If you get ashed at some point throughout the line, you still end on something, versus if they ash the Piri Rays map, you have nothing. So there was a lot more variance. If it went through, it was awesome. It was much better if your opponent had like an Imperm. But if they had like an ash, it was much worse. So I tried to play towards the center of the bell curve and just went with the safe option, which was additional names. Also, like, you just kind of run out of names at some point, so I just wanted the ability to have more. That's Yummy Monsters. I'm running 2 Surprise, 1 Acro-K, and 1 Minion. This card is awesome. I think I might be playing 3 of this, to be honest. It is just really good. I can't really describe how. Like, if you open 2 of this, you're just sitting there with them in your hand like, yeah, that's fine. Like, worst case scenario, it's an extender, you know? I was talking to Nick, and he said that it might be bad to play 3 of it because you need to have multiple cards for it to combo, and this is more of a 1-card combo deck. But I think having 3 copies of a card that is just an extender is fine in a deck where you have 16 1-cards. Minion, I think, is incontrovertible. Acro-K, some people are cutting. I understand why they are doing this. I think it is good for when you have very low resource boards. So if you go like get Food, for example, and you have like a Lollipo, you normal summon the Lollipo, link 1, plays Snatchy, and then place the field spell, or Minion Reborn, and then you have like the link 1 and the level 1, and then you pass. This is like a very common, Fua board. I really like having the Acro-K in this situation to be able to maximize the amount of interaction I'm able to generate off very little amounts of cards while giving my opponent very little draws. It is a brick. It does suck. But usually if you draw, you can just like pitch it for Cupsy and call it a day. That's it for the Yummy cards. I am playing the Striker engine because I am not dumb. I am maxing out on the Striker engine. I don't understand why some people are only playing like 1-1 or 2-1. I think you got to be maxing out just because this is like one of your only extenders that's not Surprise or not Obedience schooled. If you're going like second, especially, you really want to see the Hornet Drones, because it's so easy for this deck to just like normal summon a guy and have it get dinked immediately. So now you're like, damn, like if I had Hornet Drones in my hand, I'd be able to like summon a guy and at least attempt to play the game. So that's why I'm maxing out on this engine, just so I can have the most opportunities going second. Sometimes if it is a matchup that I absolutely need to be stopping, like if they need to not draw any, like not end on any interaction, I could cut this down to 2 engage and 1 Hornet Drones just to get more hand traps in. And I did that against Lunalite because that's a matchup like they cannot be allowed to play under any conditions. But I like just playing all the copies. If you draw 2 of them, just pitch 1 for Cupsy, call it a day. Obedience Schooled. It summons 3 guys from deck. The Beast Lock's not that bad. It's just really good. I don't think I need to explain much more than that. It just summons 3 guys from deck. That is all the engine. That is 16 1-card combos, 2 extenders that are not combos, and 2 soft garnets. The rest of this deck is hand traps. So we've got 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 Purge. This card's so annoying because I often draw one of each of these, and it's like, all right, well, now I gotta use the Ash first, when I'd really rather not. 3 Fuwa and 3 Perulia. These 15 hand traps were all like bangers. They were all great. I wouldn't change out any one of these in the list. The cards I would swap out are Droplet, Called By, and Tactics. These just didn't feel like as impactful as I would have wanted them to be in the deck list. So like Droplet, I drew a lot when my opponent either ended on nothing or when they ended on a lot. And Droplet is not good in either of those situations. You really want Droplet when they end on like a thing or like 2 things. But very often they'll end on either 4, 5, 6 things or 0 things. Those situations are not good for Droplet. Droplet is also good into the Yummy Mirror, but I'm not playing against the Yummy Mirror at all, so I can't really say whether that would have mattered for today. There were other people playing Yummy there, but yeah. Call By and Tactics. I've come to the conclusion, I just think this deck doesn't need the help with hand traps. I think you're just good through hand traps no matter what. You're just kind of barreling through them. You just kind of play through them. So I don't think you need the extra assistance with those. So I think I'm going to cut these out for more hand traps, things that can stop my opponent from playing. This deck's not very good at going second, so you need to like be making your opponent end on very minimal things. So opening like a Droplet or like a Tactics or a Called By means that your opponent's going to be playing through a little bit more than they would otherwise. So, I don't know. I might move the Call By to the side for going first, so that I can play through like a Fuwalos, like going in games 2 and 3 better. Extra deck. We're playing 3 Snatchy and then 1 of each Synchro. This should not be very controversial. This is, I think, the correct ratio. You need all 3 Snatchy. There are some lines that go through all 3 Snatchy in the opening turn. Those aren't very good lines. Those are like the 1-card combo lines with like normal summon Cupsy and shit. But you do need all 3 of them. All 3 Synchros are good. You don't need duplicates of the Synchros. I think they are so easily recyclable. The only way that this gets banished, like, is permanently removed from the game, is if you lose both field spells, or if it's banished face down with like a Unicorn, because it's kind of impossible to get this banished face down with Fenrir. Which I don't think people are really playing cash cards right now. Maybe Fenrir. So I don't think you need more than 1 copy of each of these. Kagari for the Striker engine, pretty good. I'll go over like what the obvious ones are, and then we'll go on to like the weirder options. 1 Marcher and 2 Herald for making Herald on turn 1. I'm not playing the Star Ham. I don't think you need it. When you go Obedience Schooled, I think you just end on a bunch of level 1s, like a Link one that you can use to Synchro Summon, and then a bunch of Synchro 2s. And after your opponent does their first action, then you just start Synchro Summoning a bunch to make the Heralds. Obedience Schools, I think, makes both of them on the same... makes both of them in like the span of like 7 chains. So I don't think you need the Starham to be able to play with that. The second one came up once today in a game state that I was already way ahead in, so I don't think it actually ever mattered. I might consider cutting this for like another utility option if it comes down to it. But it felt fine today. Less conventional, I guess Link Spider and Almirage are still pretty conventional. Link Spider, because I'm scared of Nib, and Almirage is one of the most underrated cards in this extra deck. So if you open Molcharmy plus Cupsy, or Molcharmy plus, I guess, Lollipop or Cookie specifically, Molcharmy plus Normals, plus like a yummy name, what you do is you normal summon the Molcharmy. I'll grab just a Cookie for the sake of example. Link it out for Almirage, special the Cookie, and then you can Synchro for Cupsy. Cupsy effect, add the 2. If they Ash the Cupsy there, that's fine. You just link it out for the Link one. Link one place Minion. Minion reborn the Cookie, and then you continue to play the game. So normal summoning the Molcharmy gave you another way to play through another hand trap, or another way to play through Disruption. If you did not have that, let's say you just had these 2, but you decided not to normal summon the Fuwalos, you just normal summon Cookie, link one with Cookie into Snatchy. Snatchy effect, they let you get this far, they let you reborn this, then they make Cupsy effect, and then they ash this, and then you have to go like tag out for these two, and then you have these to make Lollipo SP. But you can get just a little bit further if you normal summon the Fualos first. It lets it play through just a little bit more. It also leaves you really susceptible to imperm on Snatchy. Like if I had done this, link one into this, activate the effect, and they imperm this, I am dead. Versus if they have like just imperm and you have Fualos Cookie, you go this, link one, special, make the Cupsy. Imperm is not good on this because you can just bounce it out for the Cookie in your graveyard. So you do get this through, which gives you 2 additional names, which helps you play through it. Or if they do decide to imperm this, you just tag it out. Summon back the Cookie, make the link one, place minion, summon back, make Lollipo, and you just keep going. I guess it's really good into imperm specifically, because otherwise, like imperm on Snatchy is just a really big liability. So Almirage is pretty goated this week. I don't even know what happened to my extra deck. It's right here. Other less conventional option, I guess, sorry, SP. We're going to get to the less conventional stuff in a second. SP, because it's SP. Banish your opponent's minion, you win the game. Set Ash Blossom, they can't beat over it. The next card I'm playing is Cross Sheep. I'm specifically playing this because it outs Contact C. So for the last 4 days, Nick has been telling me, Grant, I am going to Contact C you. And so this put the fear of God in me. So I put in the Cross Sheep to be able to play around Contact C. This is the Contact C. They Contact C you on normal. What you can do is you can link 2 with the Contact C, make Cross Sheep, and now if you have like another way to play the game, you can keep playing. If you have like normal summon Cupsy, you would have Surprise here. If you have like a Hornet Drones, you can Hornet Drones here. There's a lot of ways to keep playing the game. I chose a pretty bad example, actually. This just actually doesn't do it in this situation unless you normal summon the Yummy itself. But yeah, I was just trying to play this so that I could play around that a little bit better. What I might do going forward, and I actually do have these cards in front of me, I might instead play the Requiem and Moon, because it lets you play through the Contact Seed all the same, except you can turn this Moon immediately into a Link 1 Requiem, which lets you special a guy from your hand. I might do that going forward. The reason I was playing Cross Sheep today is because if I get Contact Seed on Obedience School, then the Cross Sheep will get me out of that, where the Requiem and Moon will not. However, this also takes up 2 extra deck spots when this one does not. So it's like, there's give and take. You can pick which one you'd rather have. I played the Cross Sheep today. I might change that going forward. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how popular Contact C ends up becoming. And then the last pick is kind of bad, but I like it. It's number 2, Ninja Shadow Mosquito. So the reason I'm playing this is because of Steven Trifanowski. There was a duel that went up that's been making the rounds on the internet where he plays against Lucas Sacco, and they go. He's playing Malice, his opponent's, and Lucas Sacco is playing Yummy, and Triff SP's the minion, and then sets an Ash Blossom. And Lucas Sacco cannot beat this Ash Blossom. And so I think it begets a really interesting problem for the deck, is that your guys are not big if you can't get minion on the field. It's like Sprite, where they don't have Gamma Burst. And so, like, if your opponent just has like a big guy, like you're kind of in trouble. Or if they just play a grind game with you when you only have like the little guys, that's really bad news for you. So I'm playing this as an alternate win condition for if my minion gets banished. Did it come up today? No, but it did at locals on Thursday, so I think it's good enough. It actually came up like 3 times in the course of like 4 rounds at locals. It's fine. I could see someone cutting it. I could see someone calling it bad and then being right about it. But it's fine. You know, you got like 2 or 3 flex spots in the Yummy extra deck, so it was like fine. I might play Typhon instead. There was like 2 matches where I really wanted Typhon in particular. This will probably get swapped out for something. Maybe I'll just do the Requiem and Moon thing with these 2 and call it a day there. I don't know. Side deck, I think 12 cards were really good and 3 cards were really bad. So Lancia, I am scared of Malice. Droll, I am scared of Mitsu. I wasn't sure if everyone was going to have abandoned those by yet. It looks like everybody's abandoned those 2 decks, but I also think that's partially because of the list that we are going to get in a couple weeks, and also because of new toy syndrome. I wasn't sure if everyone this week and for the event was going to have had all their stuff already, so I just wanted to be prepared in case I saw Malice or Mitsu. Didn't see either of those. Did see Automat Ryziel and did see Lunalight. So I was glad I had these cards. The other card I think was really good for going second is Dark Ruler No More. There were several games where I Dark Rulered them, and I was only in it because I was able to blank their entire field. With the exception of VS K9, not how do I phrase this? There are a lot of decks that just put everything on the field and call it a day there. Malice and Mitsu do not, obviously, but Yummy really does. So you can just Dark Ruler them and then just play the game, as long as you have a way to deal with the surprise. Dark Rulering like half the interaction on somebody's board is pretty decent. Like I Dark Rulered Nick in round like 3 of Swiss, and it was the only reason I was still in the game past that. Like I did not win that game, but I was in it only because of the Dark Ruler. So yeah, it was pretty good. For going first cards, we've got Solemn Judgment. I liked this because it blanks both Pankratops and Dark Ruler. I think people have realized that Pankratops is kind of bad, which is crazy to me because I agree, but I didn't think people would have realized that by now. I discovered this like 2 or 3 days ago at locals where people would Pankratops me and I would just win anyway. It's all because of surprise. Like this card just makes it makes Pankratops, Dark Ruler to an extent, very awkward. It leaves you with something to do. Judgment blanks both of those things, so I'm usually putting this in for Charmies when I'm going first. The other card I played for going first was Songs of the Dominators. I felt like this was better than just like another Solemn Trap because sometimes you would want this against like opponents that played like real interaction or like lost to real interaction. So for example, if I was playing against Memento, I'd be really happy I had Songs as opposed to like a Charmy. This card was awful the entire day. I kept trying to get value out of it by waiting for critical points on the field, or waiting for critical points to actually activate it. So like against like Ripper, or against like a Ryzen. The problem is if your opponent knows what they're doing, they will just do those last and start going for your back row with either, I think it's Liberation, whatever K9 rank up spell that they have. They'll start going for your back row with that, so that you don't actually get a chance to activate it. Also, like, it doesn't really work going second unless you play no hand traps, which I don't think you necessarily can with Malice and Mitsu still running around. So I'm going to take these 3 cards out. I don't necessarily know what for yet. It might just be like a generic 3 of that I can put in going first and be fine with. It might be like another Solemn Trap. I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out. But I am definitely cutting these. That brings me to my last point. These are getting cut for sure, and I think I'm taking these out or at least moving them around. I'm not sure what specifically, but I'm going to be moving them around for something else. So if you take one thing away from this deck profile, it's look at these 35 and these 12 and these 15, and take that and then take these and put in something else. That's all I got for you. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more yummy content in the future, go ahead and hit the bell. Is the bell still a thing? Hit the bell. I don't know. Watch the pod. If you don't listen to the pod, listen to the pod. It's very funny. It'll all be linked below. And then if you want to watch Nick's deck profile, we'll link that below as well. That's all I got. I will see you guys next time. Peace.